Well, this has got to be one of my favorite conversations. Dr. Evans Baiya. How are you today, Evans?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
Very good. You know, I'm terrible at looking back, but I think we've known each other for 10, 12 years, something
Yeah,
like
time
that.
seems to be flying so fast.
Yeah, and we started working together a number of years ago. But before we talk about that, tell me a little bit about your background. What got you to the place that you're at today?
Yeah, so I am, my story starts in central Kenya. And yeah, I was born and raised in Kenya, and I came to the United States. I was as a student, and I have continued to be a student to today.
And you came here originally to go to university, correct?
Yes.
And where did you go?
You know what? I went to too many places, so I think I've gone to every state. But anyways, I started in Idaho.
Just because this is a little bit unusual, your bachelor's degree is in
Chemistry.
And then you got a master's
in chemistry.
And then that wasn't enough. You're still a student, so you got a master's in
electrical engineering.
And that wasn't enough, so then you got a master's in
MBA, so that I can know how to work with engineers.
Very good. And then I think you really started your professional career somewhere in there. And then you also finally got a PhD in technology, if I understand.
Yes.
My math isn't good enough to count all those different postgraduate degrees.
That's why it's not worth talking about. But anyways, I'm a student.
Yeah, okay. And because it went on beyond that, I know that you've done several executive learning programs at Harvard and places like that as well.
Yes, sir.
So this is great. And so you've been in the U.S. for how many years now?
Oh, my goodness. I've been in the U.S. for, almost 30 years now.
Yeah. And you actually have worked internationally for a lot of that time.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about your work that you did at Applied Materials, because that seems like it was interesting and foretelling of what you're doing today.
Yeah, I studied as an engineer, right? So as an engineer, doing research was incredible work, and great people, great team. But that also gave me the opportunity, not only as a researcher, but the opportunity to work with global customers. And out of that, lead innovations from conception through intellectual property protection, through development, through all the different stages of innovation, create strategic partnerships, both in research and in business, and eventually scale those technologies. They would get to a place where they would be too big for R&D. We would pass that on to other businesses. But out of this, we did multiple of these cycles, and that became, I was hooked in terms of the ability to see a problem, see a concept, see an opportunity, and actually turn it to hundreds of millions of dollars worth of value.
And it seems to me that one of the big advantages of that, because Applied Materials is a big company, so you really were a part of what was happening in innovation and technology, but that probably introduced you to a lot of other innovators around the world. So my guess is that you got to meet a lot of the other companies or the people leading those companies. Yes. That we would all recognize.
Absolutely.
By name that were focused on innovation.
Yes. Yes, and that was the treat of it, right? So if, for example, if I wanted to look at some of the guys who are working on strategic ideas, right, in strategic R&D that are going to be in the market 6-7 years from now, those are the guys I was working with at IBM, Samsung, Intel. And so we got a chance to actually create something from nothing, but we have a concept, we have an idea, and we would actually work together on those areas and then turn those into real dollars that people are willing to not only invest, but also to grow into full-scale businesses.
Yeah, that's great. And so it's obvious that a big part of what you do with us at Price Associates is helping solve these kinds of problems, helping organizations think about how they innovate, how they recreate, how they create, as I've heard you often say, and I love the phrase, create a beautiful future.
Yeah. Yeah, because we believe that the best way to grow is to innovate. And if you are not innovating, someone else is innovating to destroy you, directly or indirectly. So if the best way to grow and to serve your customers, who are always changing, is to be innovating yourself. Doesn't matter if you're a small business or a large organization. And since I work with a lot of different types of businesses, different industries, that principles remains true. If you want to stay competitive, if you want to stay and have the future you want, the best way to do that is through innovation.
And I've seen that you love innovating in different spaces. So for instance, I've seen you come alive when we talk about innovating in education, especially higher education. Or we've had a lot of discussions and have done work on innovation in agribusiness. And I've seen you look at innovation in technology. You seem to have this almost unending supply of software developers that help you when you want to innovate in that space as well. I don't know where they live or where they are, but you seem to pull them out of the wall whenever we need them. And so it's not, one of the things I've loved about working with you, Evans, is that we don't think about just innovating in a small space. We don't think about innovating a product, which is innovation, like for instance, creating a new microchip. Well, that is innovation. But innovation from a world view is much bigger than that. It's about understanding all of the different steps, the tools, the deliverables that you have to achieve in each of those levels. And so that's a big part of what you help organizations understand and then do.
Yes, yeah, because innovation is not just one piece or one part. So we always say, and the analogy I like to use is when you are baking something, whatever it is, let's go simple, like a muffin, right? It's one thing for you to have the mix. It's one thing for you to have everything that you need, the ingredients. But if you actually don't put the right, and you don't have the right oven, the right temperature, right? Even if you came up with the right mix, the right mold, but you never innovated the other part, which is the baking and then the delivery of it, then you are not going to fully enjoy the labor of the thinking, the efforts that you do. So we always say when it comes to innovation, it's not just a one piece. Every part of business must be innovated. And therefore you need to match the product or service you're offering with the market conditions, with the way you're delivering. And this gives us the different types of innovations that we deal with. So in some cases, a client may come to us or may come to me and say, I want to develop a new product. Great. Developing a new product is the starting point, but delivering it to customers who are willing to pay maximum value for whatever you've developed is our ultimate goal. And therefore it takes, in some cases, innovating the product, innovating the delivery, and even sometimes innovating customers by finding new ones. And so all this has to be thought through. And the big mistakes that I see with a lot of our clients and a lot of people around the world, they want to just teach innovation on the one piece, but that does not deliver you what the maximum value you're looking for.
Yeah, that's great. So it's innovating business models. It's innovating everything about the relationship and what creates new value in the relationship. Yeah, that's great. And you, of course, you and I, after working together with clients and enjoying being together, ended up co-authoring a book called The Innovator's Advantage. Yes, revealing the hidden connection between people and process. And then from there, you really took the lead. I've helped a little bit, but you took the lead in developing the Innovator's Advantage Academy. Yeah, which is really transformational program for an organization to take their people through. And we have a lot of different ways that we have been thinking about how we help our clients begin to incorporate new ideas around innovation. So we've got innovation labs, innovation coaching. We have an innovation fitness report that helps everybody see where in the innovation process they fit. All of those things are part of what makes it wonderful to work with you, Evans. So tell me, you got to have something that you enjoy doing when you're not at work.
Yes. When I was younger, I loved mountain biking. I loved reading, of course. That is one of my big. I always have stock of books that I need to read, both fiction and nonfiction, mostly nonfiction, because I'm always doing research. I'm always thinking about the next thing. But I love enjoying time with my family, and so those are kind of the three main things.
Yeah,
I love
and we could.
I love to read and spending time with family.
And we could spend a lot of time talking about all the different things you've done, because you have an innovator's DNA, where you're always starting new things, whether it's goat farming or it's not-for-profits or it's potato storage or whatever it might be. Yeah. But this is a beginning point, and I think the point in all this, Evans, is I enjoy so much you being a part of the Price Associates team, because you think big and you want to create something beautiful in the future.
Oh, thank you, Ron. Let's create a better future through innovation.
Yeah, that's right.